What is up, RotoGrinders? 55 minutes until lock. This is not exactly crunch time. It's not exactly Grinders Live. It's somewhere in the middle. It's an extended version of crunch time. We'll take you all the way up to lock. Myself, Dean Shableson, joined today by TJ Zwart, one of the greatest DFS players in all of Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Also multitasking, producing for us, and of course, he is on the show. He'll be giving some analysis. Head Chopper is also going to be here as well, returning champion. 4 games, just 4 games, and boy, they spread them out for us. One game, 8 o'clock on the East Coast, then 9 o'clock Boston at Utah, then 10:30 Detroit at the Lakers. That's the back half of the doubleheader on the is it not? No, it's not Amazon. It's Peacock. We got the Peacock tonight. 41st birthday for LeBron James, the greatest 41-year-old ever to play basketball. You can't dispute that one. He's going to be playing tonight against Detroit, and then we have an even later game. Sacramento at the Clippers, 11 o'clock on the East Coast. So 4 games in a 3-hour window. The front half, by the way, of that Peacock doubleheader is Philadelphia and Memphis. And every one of these teams are on an island game. Every team on an island game. Nobody played yesterday. Nobody's playing tomorrow, which makes me think that Embiid's going to play. Also national TV, I guess you want to call it that. It's on Peacock. He's the biggest question mark right now. One of the bigger question marks on this slate. He is in the first game, so theoretically we will know at some point during the show if and when Joel Embiid is playing basketball tonight. Landale, they said, is on track to play. Other things we're keeping an eye on, Keontae George is questionable. That's kind of a big deal. He had the fish. If he does not play, certainly some stuff will be opened up for the Utah side. I think it would be Isaiah Collier would be the biggest benefactor as far as minutes. TJ, welcome to the show. How are things? Everything all right?
Things are good. Life's good. Busy week ahead of me. Lots of shows over at Agents of Fandom. But luckily, it's a pretty chill week here at RotoGrinders. And so looking forward to chatting a little ball tonight.
Chopper, how are things? Everything all right?
Yeah, Dean, they are they're okay. I'm watching, keeping my eyes on this football game that's going on at halftime.
Tennessee?
Yeah, unfortunately, not enough points being scored for me. I needed some more points in that game. Not going to get it, but otherwise, Dean, it's a very interesting day. Number one, RIP to the kind of, I don't want to say RIP, but unfortunate break to the Nuggets last night. Jokic took a severe hit to his knee. He's going to be out for a while. I guess it could have been a lot worse, but it looked bad for a minute. He's going to be out for a while.
Saying? Yeah.
For about 4 weeks or so. But they're gonna have a hard time keeping afloat until then. We're not worried about it tonight, but obviously that's going to open up a lot of things for DFS moving forward for the next month. So we'll keep our eye on that. And also, Dean, tough day for the Diggs brothers out there. One in New England, one in Dallas. They in trouble. 4 guys. That's all I got.
I haven't dug in on it yet, the Steph one, but apparently there's potential trouble brewing there. When you said RIP, Chop, I thought you were talking about Clay Davis, Isaiah Whitlock. I'm not sure if you saw that from The Wire. That feels like a show that's right up your alley. Did you see that?
Clay Davis?
Yeah.
The she.
Yeah.
Oh no! Come on, man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. 71.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's crazy. Crazy to think that. That's kind of young these days, man.
That right there is the most popular GIF being dropped today, I would imagine. The news just broke like an hour or two ago, but yeah, that was kind of sad. And yeah, people love that GIF as is, and I would imagine the usage is going to be up today as well. But yeah, RIP to Isaiah Whitlock Jr.
Do we know today was a bad day for Trevion Diggs? I mean, maybe he signs for the playoff team. It might have been a good day.
Well, it depends on what your definition of bad is. He's gonna lose out on, $40, $50, $60 million guaranteed money.
Yeah, it's a bad day.
So that's not. But if he values the playoffs that much, then good for him. Then maybe it's worth it. But yeah, his contract wasn't guaranteed past this year necessarily. It's no guaranteed money, so he's not going to get anything out of it. In fact, he loses his last $500,000 of this contract by not playing in this game in week 18. So yeah, maybe it's a bad day, but maybe it's good if he wanted to be on a playoff team. Maybe it can reunite him with his brother out there in New England, and they can run through the playoffs and win a Super Bowl together.
It's a good day for Anthony Rendon as well because the Angels paid him to go away. Like,
and he hates baseball.
I mean, like, good for him. He had an incredible agent, an incredible contract, and he's honestly, like, we get hyperbolic. I think it's the worst contract. It has to be, right? There cannot be a worse contract of all time in baseball.
No, man, there's no
I can't
way.
imagine.
And I mean, there's just no way you see him suiting up again, right? He's going to take his free money and just be done with baseball because he hates it anyway, right?
Well, that's what he did 4 years ago. But yeah, yeah, I there's got to be some kind of clause where he's like not allowed to play for. I mean, I can't imagine there's anything left in his bat. He had legit injuries too. His back, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a lot of spare time. Anthony, if you're watching the show, you got a lot of spare time now. Give me a call. We'll go fishing, man. I'm open most daytimes to go fishing during the week when it's not as busy out on the bay. Come on, give me a call, man. We'll go fishing.
Hopefully his ability to catch fish is greater than his ability to hit baseball since signing with the Angels. But okay, let's do it. We're going to go game by game. We're going to circle back to our favorite players position by position because, again, this is more – we have 50 minutes until lock, and it's only 4 games, much more time than we typically have on crunch time. Again, the first game, 8 o'clock, and then we have it's just a lot of waiting for news. We will get Embiid news probably at 7:30 on the East Coast. That's when the lineup comes out. The last update we got for Embiid was he's game time decision because that's what Philadelphia does all the time. But as of right now, we're assuming he's in as far as our projections. And again, it's an island game. I think he plays, but we'll see. As for the rest of the injury report for Philadelphia and Memphis, KCP, no Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. He's out for Memphis. Zach Edey, of course, is still out there for the Grizz. No Conchar. He's got that thumb. He's not available. Jock Landell. I see he's questionable on the injury report, but I believe they're saying he's on track to play. So the expectations as of right now is he's going to play. Again, we'll know this stuff at some point on this show. Still no Scottie Pippen. Oubre is out for Philadelphia. Embiid, again, officially questionable, but we're assuming he's going to play. Chop, how do you feel about the Sixers and the Grizz?
Yeah, so I mean, Sandy Aldama, I do like Aldama, although he's going to be the most popular Memphis player in this game. I did kind of highlight him as a guy could possibly put up a big game tonight, so you got him on the radar. Man, John Morant, it's tough to go there these days, but that price tag has dropped down like a brick. So it's not a bad price tag. Some of the other guys, Jaren Jackson's projecting okay. A little bit too expensive for his projection, though. A lot of volatility there, so I'm not really like that one. And then after those 3 guys, it kind of drops off for me for Memphis. Don't really like that side. Maybe Gregory Jackson. Typically it's a smaller slate. So guys with a lower projection, I can, maybe end up being more open to playing them as opposed to like a bigger slate. Like last night, 10 games, a guy who's going to project for like 18 points. I probably don't play a guy like that last night. But tonight, smaller slate, I can do that. So Gregory Jackson in the mix at 3,700. Then we go to the Philly side. Embiid, still a game time decision. Yep, game time decision. If he plays, like you said, if all those things point, the salary is good and he can put up big games when he's out there. So I am in on Embiid there. Tyrese Maxey can always be a GPP slate breaker, especially on a small slate, especially with low ownership like this. There's really no reason why he couldn't be one of the top 3 highest scoring players on the slate, if not top 2 or so, if he gets rolling in a good matchup. So he's in the mix like that. And, the rest of the Philly team doesn't really move the needle for me. It's not like the most popular game on my board, but there are some individual pieces to take away from it.
I was trying to figure out if you call him Gregory, also known as Gigi Jackson II, if he has a middle name, and I just can't find his name. I just see but I can't find it on the interwebs. So I was figuring something else stands the second G, but maybe I just can't find it, or maybe he doesn't have a middle name. But yeah, Gregory Gigi Jackson is what I'm saying.
Because there's 2 G's in his first name. I don't know. I really don't know.
Oh, yeah, maybe that's what it is. That could be it. Yeah. I don't know if he's got a middle name, but that could be it. Yeah, just call him GG because his name is Gregory. Yeah, that's a good thought. All right.
In.
George is in? Okay.
Yeah.
That is important. Doesn't mean you can't play Collier, but Collier, of course, not nearly as important as he could have been if George does not go. That's pretty much the most important piece of information that we had left outside of Embiid, unless I'm missing something. And Murray is expected to play. Oh, John Collins is questionable for the Clippers as well. Should acknowledge that. TJ, how are you handling Philadelphia and Memphis? Obviously, there's going to be some stuff on the fly. You might have to figure out if Embiid is out, but are you with me? Are you also presuming Embiid's going to play unless otherwise noted? And how do you feel about Philadelphia and Memphis? 234.5 is the total. Memphis is a 1.5 point favorite here at home.
Yes, I am feeling that way like you, but admittedly, I'm only feeling that way because of you. And so if he's out, then I'll adjust some stuff. I'll get some more Maxey, some more George, and then maybe some of these ancillary pieces look nice. But honestly, they're all kind of priced up to a point that I don't even know how much I care. Like, I don't think I want to play Andre Drummond anyways, even if Embiid is out. It would just make me like Maxey even more. We'll see if projections adjust and all of a sudden like an Adem Bona or something like that looks good. But I think it would probably just make me bump Maxey up significantly more, bump Paul George up a little bit, maybe bump somebody like Derek Barlow up a touch, get him into the pool. But for the most part right now, as it stands, assuming Embiid will play, I'm going to have a max 1 for both of these teams. This is the game on the slate that I'm least interested in. I'll have a little bit of Maxey, a little bit of Embiid, a little bit of George. And then on the Memphis side of things, a little bit of Triple J, a little bit of Ja because he's so cheap, and a little bit of Santi, and then a fair amount of Santi Aldama. But I think my plan currently is just to make it one player for each of these teams, and that's it.
It's wild. John Morant is down to 7-3 on DK. This is a guy who used to be in the 9s, right? TJ, we always have a little bit of fun about the superstar, not a superstar. You know, we might have answered this question differently a couple of years ago. John Morant, superstar, not a superstar.
Certainly not now.
Could he become a superstar again? Or is it just this? It's over. We've hit a ceiling at 21.
I'm erring on the side of it's over.
Chop, superstar, not a superstar. John Morant.
Well, I mean, he's not a superstar right now, no. But
he's known. He's known as a superstar to like fringe NBA fans, possibly, right?
But
I'm not saying he is, but like popularity wise,
I would say that and he obviously needs a change of scenery, and he needs to mature a little. He could still become an absolute superstar in this league in the right circumstances. He's got the kind of talent for sure, but he's got to get out of Memphis, man.
He's got to get a better shot too. The 3-point shot's not spectacular. By the way,
I'm okay with that, D. I'm okay with the guy who can do the other things he does. So not everybody can shoot the ball, but
that's important these days, man. That's really important.
I mean, it helps,
Big
but
man's got to shoot, not just their guard.
He's so athletic, man. Like he's like a better version of Russell Westbrook when Westbrook was in his prime. Not like that, but Westbrook couldn't shoot, but he can still get the job done. You know, you can do a lot of things. But speaking of can't shoot, Dean, did you see Ben Simmons' new career? He's quitting basketball and becoming a fisherman.
You fish together. You should invite Ben Simmons to
Ben, fish. He's up in the north. He's up in TJ's country, I think. But Ben, I want to go saltwater fishing. Give me a holler, man. I'll go out here, man, down in Texas. Come on, give me a holler. I'll hook you up.
Is fishing huge in Australia? Was he in Australia for a good part of his youth? I don't know. I just know he's Australian-born, Ben Simmons. But yeah, you ever see when they have those arenas like 15,000 people show up to watch people like weigh fish? Like it's just weird, but some people enjoy it. Have a good. I can't imagine.
My uncle was a competitive bass fisherman.
Okay, he was one of the guys. Wait, he was participating. Is there money in that? I guess there's some money.
Yeah, there's too much money. They ended up rigging. The guys ended up, not my uncle, but the other guys ended up. People started cheating, man.
Real? Well, how would they? They would substitute, like they'd buy the fish at the market and
no. Let me tell you what they do. What they did before they got caught. What you do is you catch these fish and you bring in. I guess you bring in like a certain amount. And so if you catch a fish and you see it's a little too small, you can throw it back or whatever. You're only allowed to keep so much, and then they go and then they weigh it.
Yeah.
Most weight is going to win, right? These guys were putting like lead sinkers, stuffing them in the fish's mouth, in their belly. So it was weighing in a little bit heavier, and eventually people got caught, and it was a big old controversy. Crazy, man. You put money on anything, and it'll bring out the worst in people.
Why is there not a movie like on this, like or like a documentary? I would watch that. This seems pretty interesting, and I've never heard of this controversy before because it sounds I want to go down that rabbit hole. Just give me this before we move on. Your favorite play in Philadelphia, Memphis, both sides, Chop. What do you got? Favorite play on both sides in this game?
Embiid and Gigi Jackson.
Yeah. By the way, chat was telling us apparently it originated when when he was a youngster. His older sister could not say Gregory. She was saying it, so it just made it easier. That's what I was reading in the chats. That's how the nickname was born. TJ, your favorite play both sides of this game, Memphis and Philadelphia?
Maxey and Aldama.
Boston and the Jazz, 242.5 is the total. It's the biggest total on the board. Boston has they have the biggest team total as well by far, 125.5. They are 8-point favorites on the road here in Utah. Utah plays fast, and they play poor defense. Ace Bailey is out for the Jazz. Keontae George now officially ruled in. Kevin Love is out. He's going to be resting. As far as Boston, they are as healthy as they're going to be. This is a healthy Boston team. Chris Boucher is out for personal reasons, and of course, Jason Tatum, who knows if or when we'll see him this season. But otherwise, everybody's good to go. TJ, you put rules in, you're probably putting in, or maybe it just happens organically, at least one Celtic on every team, possibly two. You tell me, how do you feel about Boston and the Jazz?
Yeah, I don't think I'll need to, just because they project so well. And so because the slate is small, I am thinking I'm going to do, instead of like a regular max 3 that I would do, I have it as a max 4 Celtics in my GPP lineups, because I do think there are a lot of scenarios where all of White, Pritchard, and Jaylen Brown plus one of the ancillary guys make the optimal. And so I have it set at max 4 Celtics for this one. No minimums, but I am just naturally going to get them. I just had my lineups come in. Pritchard's my second highest owned player. White's my third highest owned player, and Brown's in the top 10.
Yeah. Can you rank those, I guess, the big three for Boston? You sort of mentioned them. Is that kind of how you're ranking them as well, as far as Pritchard, White, and Brown?
Weirdly enough, I'm getting more Pritchard than anybody else, but I still think I'd rank him last of those three. I think I'd have it Brown, then White, then Pritchard, just because there's a lot of good point guards today. But weirdly enough, Pritchard's the one I'm getting to the most in my lineups.
Ownership-wise, again, popularity is going to be there. White, 42% currently on DK as far as our ownership. Pritchard, 41%. Brown at 42%, one of the best big spends in the slate. He scored 30 or more points and 7, 8, 9 straight games. He just keeps filling up the bucket. And then Utah, Senzaba is a potential cheapie to make stuff work, is coming in at 40+% as well. And I mentioned Collier earlier, already fine. Would have got a bigger boost if we lost George. We did not. Still playable. And of course, you can play Keita. Keita, especially on FanDuel, where he's 5K, looks like possibly the cash game center, if nothing else. 5-3 on DK. Chop, Boston, Utah, your thoughts?
Yeah. So obviously it's just a small slate, and just like TJ, there's just going to be a lot of ownership in this from everybody, and of course I like him too. I mean, Jaylen Brown's fine, 9,400. He's getting a pretty decent amount of ownership, but the 50+ point projection is great tonight. Derek White, good. Peyton Pritchard, love him and his price tag. In the survey, I compared Pritchard to our boy Colin Gillespie from last night, who crushed. I expect a similar What?
Gillespie?
Yeah, Connor Gillespie.
Okay.
I expect a similar 67 last night, 64 on Pritchard. Semi-high ownership on Gillespie last night, kind of 40-ish% tonight on Peyton Pritchard, and I would expect him to go for 40+ points. I think he's my favorite of those big three right there for Boston. I do like him quite a bit. And Derek White would be my second favorite. Jaylen Brown, my third. I'd round out my Boston pieces with Keita. I think he's fine. Not nothing. Keita. I don't know, Dean. Keita. He's all right. He's fine. 5,300. But I think there's a little narrative here for Peyton Pritchard tonight at Utah. Playing at Utah.
Is he from Utah?
Well, no, but he's Caucasian. We're at Utah.
What?
At Utah? Are you kidding me? This is a John Stockton delight. This is a John Stockton delight game right here, man. So
every Caucasian player who plays in Utah, play him. You're saying is that?
I'm just saying. We're here. But on the flip side, speaking of Caucasians, the big Markkinen's in the house, like 7,900. I like him in this matchup too. There's a lot of ownership tonight, and a lot of projections are going to steer you. Optimals are going to just crush you with Bryce Sensabaugh. So I think, you can't mark him off the list tonight. It's a lot of ownership in large field GPPs that certainly can fade that guy. But he's got to be in the mix for your single entries, your smaller fields. Well, I see a look on your face, Dean. You don't.
I'm just still thinking of your Peyton Pritchard narrative.
You're not familiar with Bryce Sensabaugh?
Well, I've just never heard that narrative before.
Which one, Bryce Sensabaugh?
No, the Peyton Pritchard one you said. Yeah, I just never heard that
one.
Universal thought.
It's Utah, man. Everybody knows that.
Well, okay. Is that in the projections though? Like we don't.
No, it's good. Projections don't account for narratives like that.
It's not in there. Okay,
I'm on the projection. You got to be able to see that kind of stuff. But yeah. Otherwise, marketing Keontae George in. Man, I'm kind of disappointed he didn't sit out tonight. I would have loved to fire up Walter Clayton Jr. Fantastic player. I love that guy and his fantasy game too. I just don't know. I don't feel as comfortable with Clayton now that Keontae George is in. So I don't know how much I'm going to go there, but and Collier's kind of similar too. He would have benefited from George being out. That's a couple of guys lower in the salary range you can mark off the board. But yeah, I'd say Markkanen in single entry and smaller fields, Sensabaugh, and then on the other side, the big three for Boston: Brown, White, Pritchard. I'd rank them Pritchard, White, and Brown in that order for me.
TJ, you taking big stands on the Utah cheap stuff? As far as Sensabaugh, we're showing 40%. Are you kind of with the field? And how about Collier? If you're gonna have some Boston stuff, are you gonna want some runbacks there for sure? Of course, you can spend up on something like Markkanen, but he's we live in the world of a salary cap. He's gonna cost you, so he's only like 12% or so on the slate. Nurkic is pretty, only 10%. So I think he's interesting for tournaments as well. But what's your official stance, or is there one? Are you somewhere in the middle on Sensabaugh and Collier?
I'll be overweight on basically everybody on Utah except for Markkanen. Markkanen is the one I feel like is the least blowout proof of the group. Even Nurkic, even if he doesn't play a ton of minutes, he could have a big upside game in limited minutes. I have 60% Sensabaugh. He's going to be my highest owned player on the slate. 40% Collier. I'm going to be over on him too. Clayton, I'm at 20%. Even Nurkic, I have about 15%. So I'm going to be overweight on every single Jasmine today except for Lauri Markkanen. I don't have any Filipowski. And so for the most part, overweight, but on the ones that I'm picking. So Sensabaugh, Collier, Clayton in particular. And then on the Celtics side, I am still getting to some of the cheap bench pieces too. I'm playing Jordan Walsh. I guess he's expected to start, but I'm playing some Jordan Walsh. I'm playing a fair amount of Hugo Gonzalez, and I'm playing a little bit of Sam Hauser as well.
Because of the narrative?
Of the narrative, yeah. Well, yeah, like that going into
Utah. Yeah. All right.
Very Gordon Hayward-esque Sam Hauser.
All right. Let's scoot along to the next game. Detroit, the Lakers. By the way, if you have questions, we'll get your questions into the show. We'll do them, knock them out in time so you have time to adjust and things of that sort. But do first go to the Discord channel. That's where questions are prioritized. RotoGrinders.com/Discord, the live stream chat channel. Second half of the Peacock doubleheader, Detroit and the Lakers, 232.5. That is the total. Lakers are 1.5 point home dogs here. Detroit's really healthy. They're very, very healthy. The exception is Karis LeVert. LeVert's got a knee, so he's not playing basketball tonight. The Lakers are without one of their key players in Austin Reeves. He's got a calf. He's not playing. No Rui Hachimura. Gabe Vincent also out with a lumbar back strain. Chop, how are we feeling about the Lakers in Detroit? Of course, the highest projected player raw points is Luka Doncic. Luka, he can drop 70 for sure. Do we have the salary for it? And Cade Cunningham on the other side ain't so bad himself. And then you got the birthday boy, LeBron, turning 41. How are we feeling about Detroit and the Lakers?
Another narrative.
In, by the way.
Another narrative. Embiid is in.
There you go. We got one right.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that birthday narrative for LeBron. I don't know that it really matters anymore to him, but maybe it does. Who knows? I just don't like the matchup for LA in general here in this one. But Luka's matchup proof. So if that's the way you want it to go on a small slate, by all means, Luka's fine. I think LeBron's fine. I'll be underweight on LeBron myself, but that's just me. Not really. I mean, I'm not really into the other pieces on the Lakers, but if I'm going to save money in this game, especially, it's going to be on the Detroit side. I will say Kate Cunningham is one of my favorite plays tonight. He's just not getting the ownership I think he deserves for this matchup. It's a very favorable matchup for him. So I like that one. He's expensive, though, but we can save money with Jaden Ivey, one of my favorite salary savers on the slate. Again, I think the Lakers are really bad defensively, really porous, and they give up a lot. And a guy like Jaden Ivey could really, with his skill set, with his athleticism, man, I think he could really do well tonight at $3,900. So I like that one. I like Asir Thompson's all-around game in this matchup to be able to rack up a bunch of stuff. He's very volatile, so it's large field GPP only, but at 5,600, certainly willing to take a chance on him in the tournaments. Not as much on Jalen Duran in this matchup, so not really on that one. Plus, I think he's only center only eligible, which kind of hurts him anyway. But so it's more of the wings, Asir Thompson, and the guard Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham, another wing/guard. Now, I think there's going to be a semi amount of ownership on Ronald Holland. I don't get it. I don't want him. Give me Ivy. Give me. Instead of going like 50% Holland, 50% Ivy in my builds, I would rather go 100% Ivy and 0% Holland, but that's just me. So that's kind of what I'm on in this game.
We currently have Ivy. It's not the greatest projection. We're giving him 24 minutes. We saw he got some extra run last game, 21 fantasy points on DK, and we're looking for some salary savers. That's why he's got a 25% ownership. You mentioned Holland. He's kind of fallen back, I think, as the day progressed. 19 minutes. Barely 16, not even 16 DK points is a median number, which is not good on most slates, but might just be useful in theory, possibly. But we're getting 13% Holland on a DK. So your thoughts here, TJ, Lakers and Detroit?
Yeah, this game is very interesting from like looking at the power forward position on DraftKings. It just sucks. And so I think that's kind of what explains a lot of Holland's ownership is there are no good power forwards to play. Like Santi Aldama is probably going to be 40% owned just because there's nobody to get to at that position. And so I think guys like Ron Holland, Jared Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, and then spending up with LeBron, all totally viable power forward options on this slate just because it sucks. The position is not exciting at all. So I'll get to a fair amount of both of those, all those guys at power forward. And then I'm going to try and get overweights on both Luka Doncic and Cade Cunningham. I have Duran, Ayton, Asar Thompson, Nick Smith even in my pool, but none of them are guys I'm very excited about.
It's just relevant to the conversation. I see a question here in the live stream chat, so I'll ask it to TJ. Arlo wants to know DK Cash forward. Is it Ronald Holland or GG Jackson? I know our projections slightly prefer Jackson. And I think there's a chance. There's a chance that Jackson starts. We're not projecting it right now, but there's a chance he starts. Would you prefer GG if you got to pick one of those two, Jackson or Holland?
Just straight up, I would go Jackson, but that $300 to Holland is valuable as well.
Yeah, I mean, the other argument is like maybe something changes, like it gives you some flexibility. It is a cash lineup; it's not a tournament lineup, but you're just looking to get the biggest score possible. But Gigi is playing in the first game. Yeah, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do anything with that $300.
Like that 300 in cash is very valuable. Like it's tough. I found it tough. I can't get to GG in my lineup because I have $200 remaining in my lineup, but I don't know who else I would take out.
Well, they're doing something different than you, it appears. But like Iowa Boy's asking about Television Tuesday. Yeah, I didn't want to do it because I didn't want to muck. We like to have fun during Grinders Live, and I'm not saying this is not fun, but people are building lineups. We have a deadline and impending 25 minutes until locks. I didn't want to distract the show with Television Tuesday, but we'll be back soon enough.
The number one RotoGrinders optimal right now does not have GG. It has Holland.
Okay. All right. Did you take a stand as far as Luka, TJ, or Cunningham?
I will try and be overweight on both of them. No big stands, but I'm going to have about 20% Luka, 15% Cade.
Yeah. Favorite play on Detroit is who, TJ?
Cade. Well, Ivy, I guess, but everybody's playing Ivy, so Cade.
Somebody asked if you could play Derek White. Does Derek White get a bump when he plays in Utah in the chat? Chop, I don't know if you have a thought on that. Chop, yeah.
Great point. Great point.
Because the defense is terrible and Utah plays really fast. Anything else here as far as Detroit and the Lakers, or shall we scoot along to the nightcap? Last game, hammer game, Kings, Clippers. Clippers, by the way, I think they've won like 4 or 5 in a row. Shout out to the Clippers. I think they're at 10. I think they've won double digits now as far as their victories in the season. They're favored to win this one as well. They are 9-point favorites, Clippers versus Sacramento, 219.5. That is the smallest total on the board. As far as Sacramento, Zach LaVine is out. Keegan Murray is expected to be available to play. No Domantas Sabonis. Otherwise, that is it. The Clippers, John Collins had the fish. So I'm not sure if it was weighted or not. That would make it worse. If he had like some lead, that would probably make it less likely he would play, but he's officially questionable.
Lead poisoning.
Yeah. I mean, if somebody's just joining the show now and didn't catch the show 10 minutes ago, like what is that in reference to? Well, that's why you got to watch the entire show. So Collins is questionable, Chop. How are we feeling about the Clippers and the Kings? They are. I said that the Clippers have been winning a lot of late, in part because Kawhi and Harden are playing.
He's awesome.
They're playing a boatload of minutes now.
Kawhi looks good again, man. He looks healthy again. Love Kawhi tonight. $9,500 salary. Very easy to see him outscore. To think in your head and envision him outscoring anybody in this range right here. Like Luka's obviously the head and shoulders guy, best guy on the slate for raw fantasy points. But after that, I think you take about 3 or 4 guys and put their names in a hat like TJ did with the movies yesterday, and you pull one out, and that guy could be the leading scorer on the slate. And Kawhi is one of them. He's pretty awesome. So he's playing great right now, coming off of this big 90-point DK performance against a tough Detroit team last time. He's had a bunch of good games in a row. Looks healthy. I like Leonard more than anybody else in this game, and it's not even close. Yeah, you got to pay for him, but give me all the Leonard and none of the Harden if I have to make that decision tonight. Even though the projections are somewhat close, I want Harden tonight. Brook Lopez, a little bump tonight. Brook getting back to doing Brook Lopez things with what's his name out? Brook, he hadn't looked bad at all. Brook
Collins is questionable.
Who?
Oh, yeah. I didn't mention Zubac. Zubac is out.
Zubac.
Yeah.
I'm talking Zubac.
Yeah.
Yeah. If Collins is out, that's even better. Even better for these guys. Yeah. So, yeah, keep your eyes on that one. If Collins is out, you can probably play some of these, maybe a wing or something like that that's going to get some extra run with the lack of big men. They got to just downsize a little bit. So, but yeah, I'm into Lopez and Leonard quite a bit there on the Sacramento side. Not a lot of love for Sacramento, if we're being perfectly honest. At 8K, maybe you could go with a Russell Westbrook revenge game. I don't know. DeMar's mid-range game, if he gets hot, he could have a mid-range off with Kawhi. Who knows? But other than that, I'm not really that interested in Sacramento. But I do like those Clippers pieces I mentioned.
Yeah, Kawhi's been on fire, like you said. Playing like somebody that deserves some endorsements. Somebody endorse this guy. Get him an endorsement deal. TJ, how do you feel about the Kings and the Clippers?
King side's really easy. I think if you're playing a lot of lineups, you can mix in Westbrook, you can mix in DeRozan, you can mix in Maxine Reynaud. I have a touch of each of them, but I'm not going to play more than one king in every lineup. On the Clippers side, Harden and Kawhi, 2 of the best plays on the slates, and then I think you can mix in Collins if he plays, Lopez, and done.
Are you doing anything as far as waiting if we lose Collins? Are you setting anything up, or you're not really making a plan? Is that not something that's plan worthy?
No, I don't think it's really that plan worthy.
Yeah. I know we have an if-then for that. At least I believe we do. I was looking at the if-then stuff. It's Kawhi and Harden still projected to be the 2 best players, and really nobody else is getting a big benefactor necessarily. Some players are getting dusted off as far as their minutes, Kobe Sanders, Kobe Brown, but Batum would get some more, but nothing really.
As Nick Batum beats me, I'll move on.
2025, Nick Batum. What was the last? Has he been on a DFS winning lineup is that it? Is he never going to be on a DFS winning lineup again in his life? I
mean, he was awesome at the Olympics.
Yeah, I'm trying to think who else was on the. Well, I guess he was playing with Wemby, right?
They were awesome. He was pretty good.
Shout out Tony Parker.
Who?
Okay, let's
Who?
also. He wasn't on that team. Well, maybe at some point they probably played together many years ago. Okay, let's knock out position by position. We're going to circle back, and we are a little crunched on time. There's 20 minutes until tip off, and we want to knock out your questions as well. So I think we can just condense as opposed to going DK first and circling back for FanDuel. If there's anything distinctly different, I mentioned before, K does 5K on FanDuel, like 5.3 on DK, a better price on FanDuel. If there's anything that kind of stands out for you, TJ, chop as well on FanDuel, the DK, please point that out. Otherwise, we're just going to talk about them as a grouping. Again, load up your questions in the Discord channel, rotogrinders.com/Discord, live stream chat channel. I will circle back to the YouTube and get your questions. But if you do have a question and you're writing it on YouTube, please say, write it right as we're talking about centers, so I don't have to kind of bounce all over the place and scroll up. With that said, TJ, point guards. How are we feeling about point guards tonight?
Strongest position on the slate. You're trying to jam in as many of them as you can. On DraftKings, I think this is worth doing. On FanDuel, probably not as much, but I did make a rule on DraftKings, like anybody who has shooting guard eligibility, I took away their point guard eligibility. I'm just not playing them there because I want to be able to get in as many of these guys as possible into my lineups. And so on DraftKings, it's a pretty easy for your point guard positions. You're playing Derek White. And from like a cash game setting, you're playing Derek White, you're playing Peyton Pritchard, you're playing Jaden Ivey, you're playing James Harden. You're playing 4 of them at your point guard, shooting guard utility positions in a cash game setting this week. And then on FanDuel, it's very similar. The only difference is, and Isaiah Collier is another guy in that range where if you need some salary savings, you're getting to him too. But instead of potentially Ivy, if you can afford it, but I'm going basically just jamming in those guys. And then in tournaments, you can get different with Cunningham, George, Luka.
We got the Memphis lineup: Ja, Wells, Coward, Triple J, Koloko. Koloko is starting for Memphis.
Bruno.
I don't know.
No, that's Caboclo.
That's Christian Koloko.
Christian Koloko. I mixed up my Raptors international players.
I'm curious what the projection team is going to do with that because we did not anticipate Koloko. I'll circle back and let you guys know. We're giving him 14 minutes as of him not starting. Yeah, Santi Alderman not starting.
Oh, he's 4,100. That's so disappointing.
I just saw that too. I was like, he's got to be 3K, right? Nope, he's 4-1 somehow on DK. Okay, I would still think that like Santi Alderman's in line to close. Even if he's not starting and he probably plays close to 30 minutes. We'll see. I'll circle back.
Played big minutes the last 2 games. That was surprising when I pulled that up. Like he played 25 minutes last game, 28 the game before.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that. I'll give you guys the update as I throw out the chop. Anything you want to add as far as point guards on both sides? I know TJ gave a pretty thorough breakdown. Feel free to add what you want as far as point guards and then jump to shooting guards.
Yeah, it's the most loaded position on the slate, I think, and I mentioned them all already. Peyton Pritchard and Derek White, awesome plays out there. Love that one. Jaden Ivey for salary, Cade Cunningham for GPPs. James Harden is okay, although I prefer Kawhi. And, Maxey for GPPs. And so those guys are all fine for shooting guard. Not in love with this position. TJ said power forward was really weak. I think shooting guard is really weak if we consider Derek White the point guard, a point guard. Take him out of the mix, then you're just trying to save salary here with Bryce Sensabaugh and Jaden Ivey is shooting guard eligible. And other than that, I'm not seeing a whole lot of shooting guards I really like. So probably Derek White. That makes Derek White just really close to a lock on a small slate for me.
TJ, shooting guards, then jump to small forward.
Yeah, a lot of the Celtics, same names: Jaylen Brown, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard. On FanDuel, where you can play him there. I am saving salary a ton here. And so I'm getting to a lot of that's the wrong tab. I'm getting to a lot of Bryce Sensabaugh. I'm getting to some Hugo Gonzalez on FanDuel, some Clayton Jr. Hugo Gonzalez on DraftKings, Clayton Jr. on DraftKings, little Chris Dunn, Marcus Smart. But it's Jaden Ivey as the top salary saving option alongside Sensabaugh, and then Derek White as the spend up. Small forward position, it's all Kawhi, and then Jaylen Brown is your pivot. cash game perspective on FanDuel, you play Jaylen Brown, I think. On DraftKings, it's a Kawhi spot. And then Bryce Sensabaugh is your cheapie. I like Hugo Gonzalez as a cheapie too. Ronald Holland if you really need it.
I think our projection team already gave us the update here for Memphis. They're on top of it. So we're giving Koloko 24 minutes, which is an 18-point DK median projection. He's always been close to a fantasy point per minute. I was pulling it up on the season. Now it's a really small sample. It's like 60 minutes. Does anybody want to guess what Koloko's usage is? And I'm kind of leading the witness. It's low. It's really, really low.
4.3%.
6%. Like, how is that possible?
They're
a standard core, guys.
He's always
only time he shoots is off an offensive rebound. I would assume.
He's always been a low usage guy, even in college.
I rounded up, by the way. It's 5.82%. If you want to get all technical, that's wild. Okay. Chop. Do we have any instant thoughts as far as what are we doing with him? You're probably doing something on the fly right now, TJ. What are you doing with Koloko? Is he in your pool?
Added to the pool with a 5 to 10% cap.
Okay.
Ooh, capping it. Cap that sucker.
Give me all the forwards, Chop. Small first.
Kawhi Leonard is my favorite of everybody on the small forward position, followed by I would say Jaylen Brown, but obviously I don't think you're playing both of those guys. But between Kawhi and Brown, Kawhi's number one for me, but Brown is solid. I want Osir Thompson in my lineups tonight at 56. Saves a little bit of money, and I think there's some upside there. Salary, Bryce Sensabaugh, we kind of talked about him. He's okay, not bad at this salary. You got to save some money tonight. After that, he gets a little bit weak. You could twist my arm and say Jake LaRavia if we think that's going to – oh, buddy, oh, my God, Dean. Ref got in the way, Dean. We was going for a big play. Ref got in the way in the football game. Sorry, Dean, I'm multitasking, bro.
What is the over-under?
Well, when I realized that it wasn't gonna the 61 for the game was pretty much dead. I got to double down at half at 28. So we got 2 touchdowns in the third quarter. I need 2 more here.
Okay.
The ref just cost me like 30 yards right there. But a lot of Ron Holland love. I don't like Ron Holland, but he's a small forward, and you could play that. In fact, Dean, it costs you $500 extra, but I would rather play Neat Clifford than Ron Holland if you twisted my arm and made me take him. But Osir Thompson, I think, is price considered. Kawhi's my favorite, but then Osir is my second favorite at small forward.
I was thinking he might get a few more minutes just because they need his on-ball defense against Luka and LeBron, if that kind of works out that way. So I need his defense tonight versus the Lakers. Did you hit power forwards as well, Chop?
No, I'm ready for it.
Go for it.
Ready for it?
Please.
TJ said it was weak, and it is kind of weak, but I still like Aldama, even though, Koloko's drawing the start. I still like Aldama here quite a bit. Gigi Jackson, I think, is a great salary saver tonight. Good matchup and instant offense kind of a guy, so I don't mind that one. I know TJ doesn't like Lauri Markkanen. I kind of do at this weak position, so I don't hate Lauri Markkanen. And then after that, it's a big toss-up. I'm not on LeBron. I'm not on Jaren Jackson. You could twist my arm on Paul George being okay, and then Jake LaRavia as a salary saver. And that's about it.
We gave Aldama 28 minutes, so we took a slight hit for not starting. TJ, clean up forwards, jump to center.
And for what it was worth, I was incorrect. I just had something bumped in my pool. Top optimal lineup does have Gigi Jackson over Ronald Holland on DraftKings. I just had a mistake with my pool. It was giving me Collier and Ronald Holland instead of Gigi Jackson and Ivy, but Gigi Jackson and Ivy was what it should have been.
Both
anyway,
should be noted, but necessary.
Yes, yeah. Power forward position. I'm getting to a ton of just like cheap punts here. Gigi Jackson, Sam Hauser, Ron Holland, Jordan Wash, Jared Vanderbilt. I'll be underweight on Aldama, and then I'm just loading up on all those cheapies on DraftKings. On FanDuel, where Kawhi Leonard has power forward eligibility, this is where I'm playing him. Plus, you also get cheap LeBron over here, and so I think he's very viable at power forward as well. Center position, it's not very exciting. Like, I guess Keita is the best play on both sites, really. Like, he's the cash game option on both sites, I think. Embiid is fine if you want to get there for tournaments, as is Brook Lopez. Jalen Duren is okay too. I like Maxime Reynaud quite a bit for tournaments. I think Christian Coloco is viable just because the position sucks today. And then if you want to play power forward eligible players like Jaren Jackson Jr. or Aldama, that's fine too.
Chop, give me centers and who you feel in the plums.
Yeah, Aldama's good at center. I like Brook Lopez. Really like Joel Embiid here in this game, and that's where I'm at on that position. Fill it in the plums, Dean. Let me pull up all players. Oh yeah, that was an easy one. At Utah, come on, at Utah, Dean. Peyton Pritchard is going to pull a Connor Gillespie and go for 48 DK points.
TJ, who is your plums play?
You want to hear something crazy? I'm going to go way off the board and say Hugo Gonzalez.
Woof. What do you have as far as percent? How much? What do you have? Like 10% of them? How much Hugo do you have?
20%. 20% Hugo. He has at least 25 fantasy points in 4 of his last 5 games. I think that's the best low-owned value play on the slate.
You never really know with that Boston rotation, like which random, big. I
just feel like I like about him is you have a chance for him to close if the game is close. It's not guaranteed, but there's a chance of it. And then he's for sure getting blowout run.
Questions prioritized here in the Discord channel. Chop, Golf Nut wants to know, single entry tournament on DK, are 4 Boston players too many?
No.
Okay.
No, it's single entry and it's a small slate, and they're the best team on the board probably. So no.
Okay, so Arlo's got a question. No, we already asked that question. Allen's Club for TJ DK single entry. I got a 2v2. Leonard and Markkanen versus Aldama and Cunningham.
What was the first one again?
Kawhi and Markkanen versus Cunningham and Aldama.
Cunningham, Aldama.
Chop, Luke Cage got a question for you. FanDuel tournaments is Jock Landale. Is he still playable for you? Is he in your pool theoretically?
No, he's not. I'm not gonna besmirch it, but I don't like it. I don't need it.
He's fun to watch, by the way. He's a big boy out there. He gets very excited. He enjoys his basketball. Achilles has a question for you, TJ. It's DK Cash 2v2. So it's Ivy and Kawhi versus Harden and Collier.
Ivy and Kawhi.
I'm going to ask the cash question to TJ. I'm going to double up here. Alexander for TJ. This is tricky. He says, needs to cut one of these for my DK cash lineup. Salaries are a little bit different, but if you're going to cut one of these, all things considered, White, Ivy, Pritchard, Brown, Harden, Collier.
Brown and or Collier.
Yeah, and of course you like Brown. I would imagine just it's a salary thing, it's a building thing.
Exactly.
Okay. Let's see. Ruthless Villain for you, Chop. Ruthless Villain 2v2. Lopez and Harden. We're projecting Lopez to play 31 minutes, an extra minute if we happen to lose Collins. Lopez and Harden versus Coloco and Cunningham.
Man, although I like Cunningham so much more than Harden, I still got to go with the Lopez Harden side because I don't like Coloco nearly as much as Lopez.
We're going to answer Peterman's question after lock because it's a good question. You guys can stick around for an extra minute or so after lock because I'm curious to get your thoughts. I am scrolling up now in the YouTube. TJ, I am Steve asking, I'm playing Hugo or Meek at power forward and DK. Well, I guess your answer is Hugo.
Yeah. But Hugo doesn't have power forward eligibility.
That is correct. He's small forward, right? Yeah. So I'm not sure. Maybe it's the F spot we're talking about there. But I'm just reading the questions. Oh, I see that you actually answered that. You responded. Okay. Now I am circling back. Lord King Groove, Chop, he's got a question for you. 3v3. So pay attention. 3v3. Sensabaugh, Lopez, Markkanen versus Clifford, Garza, and Brown.
Oh, the first one.
Yeah. I mean,
the second one had too many landmine possibilities.
Garza and Clifford, yeah. It's just a question mark here with 2 question marks, TJ. Puppet Master Derek Jones, DJJ, question mark?
If what's his face, John Collins is out, sure, you could take a shot, but otherwise I wouldn't.
When will we know that, though? Probably not till Game 3 starts.
Yeah.
We'll know it before Game 3 starts, but we'll have Detroit and the Lakers to work with. But probably won't know that at 9 o'clock for Boston, Utah. All right. Koloko starting. Again, I'm just kind of circling back.
Who do you guys like better straight up, James Harden or Jaylen Brown? Because I'm looking at my cash lineup right now and realizing I could get up to Jaylen Brown if I wanted.
I think I'd prefer Jaylen Brown straight up. If there's nothing else, to be considered.
Other qualifiers, there are 4 other Celtics on the team.
It's a cash lineup. They have the biggest team total on the board. You're not looking to finish first. They're going to score a bunch of points. You start with 30 with Jaylen Brown, right? You start.
The answer is both. The answer is I'm going to make another lineup.
Oh, okay. Okay, TJ, can you power rank? Don Easy wants us to power rank the cheapies like GG and Ivy. I guess Koloko. Do you have like a favorite amongst the nonsense on this slate?
Yes, it is Sensabaugh number 1, Ivy 2, Collier 3, GG Jackson 4.
Ivy or Collier, Chop? On DK single entry, Flores Mark wants to know Ivy or Collier.
Oh, man. I'm going Ivy. I mean, you're kind of throwing me off with the smaller field, but I'm still going to say Ivy.
Nate wants to know if we like Precious Achiuwa tonight. I think we would have liked him a little bit more if Murray was out, right? Is Precious in your pool, TJ?
He is not.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what is hurting his ceiling. Ruthless says, I can afford Maxey, Chop. Would you play him or Harden? So no other, who's going to score more fantasy points tonight, Maxey or Harden?
Yeah, because I like Leonard so much for the Clippers, I wouldn't want to double dip on the Clippers, so I'm going to say Maxey.
TJ, you're probably making more lineups. This question for you. I am Steve. Walter Clayton for dumpster diving on DK. He's got a little bit more opportunity without with the injury to the rookie. I'm losing his name for some reason in my head. Ace Bailey. No Ace Bailey tonight. Any interest in Walter Clayton?
Yeah, I do have about 20% of him. I would just say make a rule that you only play one of Clayton and Collier because they eat at each other's minutes.
Chop, Chris Longo just says Paul George ?
I mean, he's fine. I wasn't on him as much, and CJ started talking him up a little bit more, so he sold me on him a little bit, but he's fine. It's a small slate. I suppose he could always 6,900 could drop you a 40 burger.
TJ, Diego's asking you personally, what do you think about 8,600 salary left, FanDuel cash, center position? Let's see. 8,600 salary, FanDuel cash, center position, left best spots? Not exactly sure what he's asking.
I would say you should be playing Keita there and spending up elsewhere, but if you don't want to adjust the rest of your lineup, the answer is Embiid.
Chop, Sensabaugh and Maxey. Sensabaugh, Maxey versus Laravia and Harden. CW's asking.
Maxey side.
Chop, Matthew wants to know best utility play on DK, 4,400 or less. 4,400 or less, your favorite play, any position on DK.
Let me pull it up real quick. Jaden Ivey.
Infinite saying Laurie Marketing, good cash game option. I don't think so. I don't think he's landing a cash lineup. You tell me, TJ.
Nope.
Yeah, it's just he's not really hitting the builds. Laravia. People are asking about Laravia in cash. FanDuel cash Laravia. Is that something we can do, TJ?
Probably not, but he is pretty cheap over there.
At this point, we're up against the bell and the clock's going to go. So trying to see if there's any other questions that are not relevant to the first game we can still knock out. TJ said he did not like Marketing because he is blowout proof. TJ, I see you're answering some of the questions in chat that I possibly may have just asked or missed. So thank you for that. Let me just get the ad reading real quick. And we have a good question here from Peterman that I want to ask you guys because it's relevant. Not relevant, but worth asking. Pick Labs. Do want to mention Pick Labs, the newest Fantasy Labs feature that lets you scan the best player props, prop and pick 'em bets in just seconds. Everything is broken down for you from edges and win rates to value. Clean board showing which plays actually stand out across sportsbooks and sites like Underdog and Prize Picks. When you see something you like, Pick Labs will build the slip, send it straight to the book of your choice. Takes just seconds. Limited time. You get free access right now through a Fantasy Labs DFS sub, fantasylabs.com/pricing, and use the code FLEX20 for $20 off your first payment. You'll be wondering why this is never a thing. I'm going to ask Chop this question, but you guys both probably going to have a thought in this. Peterman says there's two shows he's never seen before. Which should Peterman start with? Game of Thrones or Sopranos? I have an answer.
Oh, man. That is tough. Oh, man. You can't go wrong, but knowing what I know now, yeah, I'm probably starting with Game of Thrones, man.
What does that mean? Know what you know now? What does that mean?
I know how they go. I know how they all end. I know how it all plays out. I know what every episode is like of each one of them. And I feel like Game of Thrones has a little bit more, to me, has a little more activity, a little more action in just about every episode. Sopranos kind of has some that are a little bit slowish. So I'm going Game of Thrones. I just found it really entertaining.
Because I think The Sopranos had a better finale, if that's what you're referencing. I know a lot of people don't have a finale for Game of Thrones.
No, it has nothing to do with
confused by your answer.
Nothing to do with finale. It's about the pace of the show in every single episode, what I get out of it. And I think Game of Thrones is a little more action in every episode to me.
Do hit that like button. Do subscribe, turn on those notifications. TJ, did you have a thought in that? Sopranos, Game of Thrones, if you're going to watch one. Have you seen both these shows?
I've seen neither of these shows,
Whoa.
but I am more interested in Game of Thrones.
Wow.
I'm shocked that TJ is in Game of Thrones.
He's a TV guy here, man.
Game of
Thrones sounds like it is so directly into my wheelhouse. I was so gung-ho to get started on it until everybody started complaining about the end. And I know it goes beyond that, and it's an incredible show, and it shouldn't just be for that. But with so much great TV to watch, it just fell down my list of priorities because of how many people were just not upset, but just like muted and numb to the end of it, of just
Twitter overreacting,
disappointed.
Yeah, that's just about every show. Just about, you'd have to nail the perfect. Like even Sopranos, how many people are complaining about the Sopranos ending? Like everybody complained about that when it happened. Just relax.
I think it was brilliant, by the way, in retrospect.
Enjoy the ride.
And by the way, it's funny you say, TJ, you were that's like in your wheelhouse. I was 100% averse to playing to Game of Thrones. Not my wheelhouse. Whatever my wheelhouse is, it is the opposite. And I said, let's give it a shot. And it's awesome. It's really a really impressive undertaking. It's really, really good. And it's not perfect. Yeah, the ending, they didn't completely stick the landing. It wasn't exactly a Sullyberg, but it didn't dampen the show for me. But so I prefer Sopranos, just personally, if I got to pick one of those two. But I'm not going to fight about it. Beaner wants to know whether we fade Cade today on FanDuel. I don't know what that means. Like just one lineup, or talking about if you're making 20 lineups. I mean, I would make sure to get some. If you have like 20 lineups, you have one lineup, TJ. You can fade Cade, right? Like that's not an issue.
Oh yeah.
All right. Yeah, TJ, you got to get on this Game of Thrones thing. I think you'll like Game of Thrones more.
One day, I'm sure it'll happen.
Yeah.
There's just no hurry for me anymore, Like I already missed when it was in the zeitgeist, so there's nothing really like pushing me to get to it.
Yeah, and you probably heard some spoilers, maybe.
Many.
Yeah. You got to wait long enough to you forget the spoilers somehow.
Yeah.
Anything else going on here in the chat? I don't think so. Anything relevant that's of note? I think we're good to go to get out of here. Yeah. All right. Anything else here, Chop, before we step aside and go?
Nope.
TJ, how's Tennessee looking? We going all right? Any more touchdowns?
3 touchdowns in the third quarter. Just started the fourth quarter.
Chop, you got any winners, by the way? Anything later on tonight? Anything for New Year's? You're on top of this stuff. What's your favorite plays?
Oh man, if you're asking me so I do like Oregon to beat. I mean, these are just leans, Dean. These aren't like big plays. I do like Oregon to upset Texas Tech. I think Indiana probably covers that spread if it's under a touchdown. I'm leaning towards Ohio State, although I've heard a lot of people say Miami. I'm still leaning towards Ohio State under 10, given under 10. And the last one is a really tough one, but I think Georgia rolls up on Ole Miss pretty good. So.
And who wins the title? If we change that, or we stay with the same?
I'm still sticking with Ohio State.
Yeah, Miami deserves the revenge from that nonsense from 2001. the phantom pass interference.
I was really rooting. I really liked Miami back then. I was a Houston fan, and if not Houston, I liked Miami, and I was disappointed when that happened. So yeah, I hope Miami gets the revenge, but I feel like Ohio State's the cream of the crop.
Yeah, I'm not a big like blame the ref guy, but like that literally was they literally stole the national championship from Miami because of a phantom pass interference from the ref that was like on the other side of the field, basically. But that's not. I was surrounded by Hurricane fans who were very, very upset watching that game. But all right, TJ, anything else before we step aside and get out of here? I think we're good.
No, I think we're good.
Did we give you time to do the credits? I see you typing something, or I felt like you were typing credits. Maybe not.
I just looked down and realized the ones I forgot the ones that I made last time came through weird, and because they had the double same file name and it was somebody else. And so, no, I don't have them. And I was just about to just rerun the Dean Chop Kyle one.
Okay. Close enough. Kyle, TJ, what's the difference?
I'm on there anyways as producer, so we'll just give Kyle a little extra credit.
Appreciate y'all watching. We'll be back tomorrow night. Do hit that like button. Do subscribe. Turn on those notifications on your way out. And that was the show. We're out of here. Holler.